of art is not to present the outward or physical appearance of things, but their inward significance. It is on this note I welcome you to World of Art on OGTV. My name is Miriam Usman. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Every week we bring you experienced artists, and together we have a close look at topics that can promote visual art in our society. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shillong, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of Council Yemisi Shillong Museum of Art. The World of Art will be back after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned on World of Art on OGTV. It's time to meet our guest. Today we're being joined by Dr. Idowu Olatunji. He is an associate professor, I beg your pardon. He is an associate professor of cultural and creative art at the Tajulari University of Education, Ijebu-Ode. He is a fellow of both Society of Nigerian Artists and Art in Medicine. He attended both Lagos State University, Lagos, and University of Port Harcourt. He has established over 41 articles and books of national and international repute. His works have been featured in numerous local and international exhibitions. And today we have him full-fledged with us in the studio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so I feel a little bit excited, or very excited, because we are going to have a different conversation from the one we've been having on the program. I mean, we've had the likes of sculptors, textile designers. We have plenty of them on the program. But today, we have a cultural and creative artist on the program, which means we're going to have a different perception. And just before we kickstart with our discussion, I'd like you to take us through your journey into this career path. I know everyone has a story. So what is your story like?
Thank you very much. Well, my parents saw this trait in me, and they brought in maybe books with picture illustrations. I want to copy them in different sheets of papers. So my father therefore enrolled me under a local sign writer. And that was where I started from. I started learning after my primary 6 education. And later, I went for secondary education. But then in my secondary school, they don't teach arts. So I was still battling with, as I come back from school, I still go back to learn my art until I got to teacher training college, when arts was part of our curriculum. So the interest was as well rekindled again, and that was where I started from. And because I wanted to go further, I had to take GCE, where I enrolled for arts, and I did it, and I had a very good result. And that was how I got to higher institution to read art. And that is where I started up to today. And I've been coming up from there up to where I am today.
And that's quite a journey. How long have you been practicing this profession?
Well, I can say I started in 1978, because that was when I can say I entered a studio where artists are working, and where I'm also being trained as an artist. So that is why you see that from that training, I can use my brush to write very well, because I started from sign writing, and that one helped me in all other areas because I was getting little money to sponsor myself in education and some other things that time.
You know, there's one thing that is similar or familiar with you and every other artist I've had on the program, and that's the connection between one person who pushed them to becoming who they are today. And guess what? It's always the fathers. So I don't know who is watching. You might need to push somebody to take a close look at art today as a profession. Now, let's talk about the educational aspect of art for now. You see, over the years, art has existed in schools as subject. But in recent times, there have been agitation or advocacy by art educators on the need to change from art to cultural creative art. Not many people, not lots of people understand the difference between art and cultural creative art. So as an art educator, what's the difference between art and cultural creative art?
Yes, when you say arts, you are talking about the generality of art itself. Because art can be defined as the interpretation of one's inner emotion. You know, when you are not interpreting it, you can use a medium, you can combine so many media, and then form something that people will appreciate. That is art for you. But when we are not talking of cultural and creative art, it's like an articulated subject, integrated subject. You know, all these art, they are segmented, they have branches. But all those branches are now brought together under one umbrella. And they now put it under what we call cultural and creative art. So when you are not teaching cultural and creative art, therefore, you are teaching all the arts. You are exposing the learners to all the arts.
So initially when it was studied as art, is giving a specific direction.
Concentration was on visual arts.
Okay.
That was, you know, like I know Nobolu, when he started, the concentration was on visual art. Okay. But then the difference now, like we have Professor Wangboje, who first talked about this cultural and creative arts. You see, they are thinking of exposing learners to all the arts from the foundation level. That is from primary school. So that when you are able to see all of them, you can now make a decision. Where do I go? I have been exposed to all of them. Which one do I like best? You pick that one. And whatever you like best, you know that you'll be able to do well in them. Not that somebody is forcing you to go and do it. That is it. That is why when you see from primary school, primary 1 to JS3, they are exposed to what we call cultural and creative arts. But when they now get to SS, they will now pick. Is it that visual, performing art, or when you say theater or music?
So schools are practicing this now?
Yes, that is what the curriculum says. Okay. That is what is in the curriculum. So those who go for visual arts, those who go for theater, those who go for music, they will now choose their area of where they want to specialize. Now, you know, under music, we also have other branches. Under music, under theater, we also have other branches. Under visual art, we also have other branches. But they must have been exposed to all of them.
From the primary stage?
From primary stage up to the secondary level. Okay. The difference is in SS, that is in senior secondary level, is that they will not be doing everything like they used to in primary and junior secondary. So they will now go for one of them. Is it going to be visual? Is it going to be theater? Is it going to be music or dance? They have all of them there and in the curriculum. Okay, so now that you have given us the disparity between art and cultural creative art, because I believe a lot of people, once you mention art, the first thing that comes to their mind is either sculptors or painters or, you know, every other artist. And now we know there's a difference. Yeah. Now you're an art educator who also have this practice of cultural creative art. What other opportunities are open for people to explore under the cultural creative art? Thank you very much. Like I mentioned, I said learners are exposed to different branches. Like for instance, in visual arts, we have what we call graphics, we have ceramics, we have textile designing, we have sculpture. That's my favorite. That's lovely. You see, there we also have blacksmithing. We are doing jewelries. Even the fashion designing is also part of it. So learners are exposed to all those under visual art. When it comes to theater, acting is there, directing is there. We have people going to cinematography. We have people being costumier, makeup artists, and so on and so forth. All of this. Cultural creative arts. They are all in cultural and creative arts. So, and don't forget, culture is also there. Apart from all those ones, we also have a culture. I think that's where they derive the name from. Yes, appreciation of our culture. And we realize that arts itself, they said arts emanated from rituals, propitiatory sacrifices of our forefathers. That was where, because they love symbol. They use something to symbolize what they believe. So that's why art graduated from. And that's why having it, because we are developing it academically.
I agree with that, because we've had a lot of people study this profession in schools, in tertiary institutions.
Yeah.
Now let's take a little bit shift from the educational part. Every society, I believe, possesses this high, rich cultural heritage, just like you've mentioned, and this a lot of people see as a valued asset. You've mentioned that also, because it kind of represents an identity that binds these people together. Now, in Nigeria as a society, as a country, what would you say is the contribution of cultural creative arts in Nigeria? Obviously, it has been practiced in this country for a very long time.
Yeah.
What are those contributions that we can see?
You see, it has helped in the area of employment. You see, when you study cultural and creative arts and you specialize in one of the areas, you become an employer of labor. Because most of the work we do, we cannot do it alone. It's just like in filmmaking now. If you want to go into filmmaking, look at the workers that we are going to gather together. You are going to have photographer, you are going to have a costumier, you are going to have makeup artist, you are going to have stage designer, all of them in one production. When you are producing more production, the same thing. It's just like sculpture that you said you love too.
Yes.
When you want to go into sculpture, you also employ some other people. The artist is there, but some other people will be working with that artist, and they will be paid. Those ones will be able to take care of their own expenses because of what they have derived. And what about international representation? Our art can be represented internationally. We can export them. We can export our culture. And from there, we get the monetary exchange for what we have done. And these are boosting the economy very well. So, we need not to be parochial about it. We want to look at it from the broad angle and see what art can do to boost the economy. There are a lot of things we can do to it. Look at graphic design, for instance. You see, when you are going on the street, you see a lot of graphic designs. They collect money from there. And people also meet people internationally to design for them. They collect money. And that money, where does it go? It goes into the economy.
Well, that's amazing. And still talking about the economy, Nigeria over the years has evolved to be one of the biggest economy in Africa. I mean, with over 200 million population, you cannot dispute that. And you've mentioned that the role of cultural creative art is also significant in the economic growth of Nigeria. Now, what do you see as factors affecting the growth of this industry in Nigeria? Because obviously everyone suffers setback, and I believe this industry as well, suffer little or more setback. So what are those challenges?
Thank you. Number one is apathy from people.
Okay.
Like you rightly mentioned in the beginning, you said people fail. When you are talking about, maybe it is already drawing sculpture,
painting.
Yes. That apathy is there. People think if they say you are going to, what do you want to use it for?
Yes.
So that one is also killing me. When they see a child developing that trait, instead to develop it, we kill it.
So why do you think it's like that?
The reason is because of we are not properly educated about the subject itself. Now, head of school too can also be a factor.
Okay, we have a caller. Let's take this. We'll continue after the call. Thank you for joining us, Ade.
Yes, I want to, my greeting to the man in the studio, I want to ask him about what is his plan about exporting all these products internationally so that they can have foreign exchange for Nigeria as well in a big way, and collaborating with other people as well.
Ade, are you there? Okay, I think we lost Ade, but I think he was trying to make a contribution on the aspect of exporting cultural values. So you were saying the challenges affecting the growth of...
Yes, I've mentioned apathy from people.
Yes.
I've also mentioned I was to talk about the head of school.
Yes.
Every head of school, they have their area of specialization. They want to pump money into their area and then live in arts. In fact, when you go to some schools, you see that art has the lower ebb of the ladder. They don't, you got too much money, so they don't want to put money into it. That's attitude
kills it.
Yes,
I agree with
kills
you.
it very well. And then we also talk government policy too. Government policy, you know, they have been giving scholarship for science, technology, or whatever.
But we don't have for art.
We don't have for art. Yes, because we have developed that parochial mind about it, that is, you know, drawing this and that. So what we use it for. But we have forgotten that it is the foundation. When you have art as foundation, it helps you in other subjects. It helps you in technology. It helps you in science. Because you have this critical thinking. You'll be able to create. You're able to do a lot of things because of that exposure to art. So
we need to pick this.
Okay.
Thank you, Shay, for joining us on the program. Shay, are you there? Please call us back and would love to have your contribution. Let me quickly add that you can join in on the conversation through our social media handles, and it's OGTV. Please send your messages and we will treat this together. So, Doctor, before that call came in.
Yeah. So, government also need to extend scholarship to arts.
Not just science.
Even while recruiting teachers at times, you see that art teachers, at times they will need them. In some state, they will need them. My
entire time in the secondary school, we had only one art teacher.
You see. So all these ones have been having effect on the development of art itself until we are able to address all those problems. And parents too, they are another factor. I told you my parents saw that in me, and then he allowed me to start. Some parents, they have template for their children. They want them to become lawyers, engineer. Whether they are good in that area or not, that's what they want. Because Mama Sidika there, the daughter is a lawyer, Mama Baba Sherry, the son is a doctor, so they want them work also to follow.
Okay, we need to take this. Thank you, Samuel, for joining us.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Samuel. Hello, Samuel. Okay. Please call us. I'm guessing there's a lot of network jam. So you were saying parents.
So parents, they need to look at the potential of their children. They should not think for them. Once they have been exposed, because in primary school, secondary school, they have been exposed to all these subjects and areas where they can go. They need to think. And that's why I said senior secondary school is decision-making level. When they decide what they are going to do, that's what they follow. But if you derail them, that one, then they become maladjusted. They will not be able to cope. That's why you see that some parents, they want to read medicine. When they now go and read medicine, they bring the certificate back and say, this is your certificate. They now
let me do what I want
to do. So we need to learn from what is happening in advanced countries. Leave them. Let them decide on their own. The only thing we need to do is just to give them foundation. When we are giving them that foundation, let them make the decision to progress.
Oh, that's an amazing one. We would go on this break, and after which the program continues. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It's still Word of Art, and we've had Dr. Olatunji Idowu tell us a lot about cultural creative art. And if you're just joining in, we are having a conversation on what cultural and creative art is, and the contributions in our society, and what more it can do to us as a society. So before we went on that break, you were telling us more of the challenges affecting the growth of cultural creative art in our society.
Yeah.
I do believe that this industry is one industry that showcases how much can come from Nigeria. Excellence, brilliancy, a lot can come from Africa.
Definitely.
And this a lot of people have been, telling it out to the...
Hello.
Okay. Thank you, Jide, for calling us.
This is a from
Okay, please go ahead with your contribution.
I just want to confirm, as a student, most of the students they don't develop in that very student. But I know the government are organizing the kind of promotion in the secondary school.
Okay, Jide, we did not get that. Can you come again?
We want them to organize the program. for the students in secondary school, so as to expose them more on that very thing, so as to have people that will get sector into that in tertiary institution. Nigeria is dependent on professionalism now, and this is the kind of help we could give them more. Instead of depending on that everything, please, I'm so lucky to organize this program for youth the environment.
Thank you so much, Jide, for calling. Did you get?
Yes, I want to corroborate what he said.
Okay.
You see, we did something in Taisholari University of Education.
Okay.
When we got there, around 2006, we normally have few students coming for art, because the requisite is you must have passed fine and applied art. We now remove that if you have interest in that, because we realize that in many schools they don't teach art.
Yes.
So, but some students, some intending students, they want to read art. So what we did was, we were silent about that.
You welcome all subjects.
If you want to come, if you have interest, come. Then we start from the scratch, teaching them. We have many of them who have graduated today, who are specialists in this area or that area, and they are doing well. Some of them are employer of labor, who are doing fine on the street. That's what we have done. You see, that is one thing we can use, as he said.
Yes, to promote
art. We've been doing that, but not all universities are doing that. We've been doing that, and it has been helping us. Because at times we have 200 students, we have 150 that we apply, and we've been teaching them, they have been graduating. That means, like somebody said, artists can be made and they can be born.
Okay.
Yes.
So in your case, you're making artists.
We are making artists.
I like the program they were doing on the RTP, so that's why I want to contribute my...
Thank you, Shay, for joining us.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. What I mean is that whatever we are doing in this life, starting from construction work, art is most important. So many people, they don't know. In fact, in building work, building blocks, before they set the block, and the construction of everything, like architect work, everything is a part of art. So it creates a good thing to the community. So, and then, if you want to do anything in computer without art, you know, most of the art, like making photos to each other, they can do it, but they cannot do it as a real artist, something constructive by creativity.
Yes.
That is why I said that artist, but I just need to make people know the importance of art in the community.
Thank you so much, Shay. Thank you so much for your
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. So that was Shay. I'm guessing Shay is also an artist, or he loves art. Yes, you were still saying something on the initial contribution.
Yes. You see, what we need to do is just to liberalize qualification to read art. Let's liberalize it. There are a lot of people from other areas that want to read art, but that's because of that course, it has been sending them away. So by the time we bring them in, we start teaching them. And as an adult, when you know your goal, you'll be able to grasp easily, and then you'll be able to develop. That's why we have experimented, and it's paying for us, because we are having students that are reading arts very well.
It's a good thing that there's a group.
And there's one other thing, though. One other thing.
Okay.
In our university, we produce students who can teach cultural and creative arts.
Very important.
Very well. Because we have trained them along that line. Despite that they specialize in one area, but they can come before the class and teach it successfully. And we have been having testimony about that.
Unfortunately, I have to cut you short now because time is not by our side. So before we wrap up the program, what would you... Hello, Odunayo. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Thank you.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
I just need to...
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, Odunayo, we cannot go through. So I believe we have this regular caller, and she always sends some messages on Facebook. I don't know why I have not received that message today. So I want to say that this conversation is helping a lot of people, especially the young people. So what would you want to give out as your final words on the program today?
Thank you. Arts fulfills the domains of education. Domains of education, we have cognitive, affective, and then psychomotor. You see, we have the cognitive aspect when you learn about the history of culture, history of art, and so on and so forth. You are richly blessed with all those information. Then, when it comes to affective, the community is developed. And then psychomotor, you use your skill to do all those things. So I want parents to allow their wards to read art if they decide to do so. We should not discourage them. And finally, I want to thank Yemisi Shilon for this program. This is a laudable program he has put in place. It's a very good thing. If others can also do the same thing, we know that how to go places.
Thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Thank you.
I, for one, I enjoyed this program, and I hope we'll have to do this again and again and again. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
With that, we've come to the end of the program on World of Art. I trust you've gathered one or two things for yourself. Just before we leave, let me remind you that it is not what you look that matters in art. It is what you see. And on World of Art, we just want to ensure you see what matters. My name is Miriam Usman. Until I come your way next week, please do all you can to promote art in our society because it is very, very important. Bye for now.